Hello once again, hockey fans. Joseph Zakrzewski with you for another edition of IceHogs Warmup as we get you all set up for tonight's matchup. Your Rockford IceHogs out on the road. They're squaring off against the Grand Rapids Griffins at Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So not too far away, but it's a busy weekend overall for the Hogs as it's part of a home-and-home series against their Central Division rival. Well, coming up on the program, we'll hear from your coaching staff, your favorite players, and of course we'll get back here inside our WIFR studios to preview tonight's match before going live at Van Andel Arena. Well, for the Rockford IceHogs, tell you what, they've been playing some fantastic hockey as of late. You just have to look back to these last couple of games, a nice 5-game homestand for them, and one little road trip out to Chicago, so not really a road trip, but to Rosemont, Illinois, and all victorious except for one of those games for your IceHogs. Now, how do you keep things moving forward going into tonight? Well, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Derek King throughout the week, and we'll hear from him again in just a little bit, but he feels like the battle level, the compete level, and ultimately the chemistry level for this IceHogs bunch has really elevated to a new level. And what's been different from maybe the previous beginning of the season? Well, we've talked about it numerous times on IceHog Warmup, just how young this Rockford IceHogs group is. But with their veteran leadership helping pave the way, the coaching staff, development staff from the Chicago Blackhawks all coming on through, it's been interesting to see how this Hogs team has developed. But now just looking back to this past 5-game homestand and then the trip to Rosemont, the IceHogs over their 5 games would come away with a 4-1 record, including a 4-game winning streak. Not too shabby right there, right? Manitoba would come there and come into town to wrap things up, snap that streak. Then the IceHogs would head out on the road to take on the Chicago Wolves. And let's see how the IceHogs did in that matchup against Chicago. Well, it would be a rough start for them. They would give up their first goal of the contest for the 7th consecutive game. Dylan Coughlin right there, a power play goal. Special teams playing a factor once again. But for the IceHogs, having to play it come from behind, and ironic just because they had scored the first goal in each of their first 6 games. But didn't take too long. Second period, right there, Anton Vanin, a masterful deflection on goal past Garrett Sparks, who went over 190 minutes of shutout hockey. So for the IceHogs, just to get that one to crack through a red-hot goaltender and to tie up the game at 1 was absolutely huge. And you see the deflection on the backhand right there. Just a soft touch. Garrett Sparks moving from right to left, and all a little bit about misdirection. And the IceHogs would have Matt Tompkins in goal. For Tompkins, it would be just his 3rd appearance of the year. Hard to come by with ice time when the IceHogs have 3 goaltenders, but Tompkins would earn the right, and you see a save like that, left to right, wide open. Coughlin on another power play for Chicago, and you see Tompkins, he was willing to rise to the task. But then the IceHogs, with the game tied up at 1, they look to a defenseman, Lucas Carlson. What hands to break it into the offensive zone. Got right around defenseman Brett Lernout for the quick tuck, and the IceHogs would have the lead. And for Rockford, their victories against Chicago have been monstrous and all of big momentum swings. So Lucas Carlson celebrating a big goal to give the IceHogs that first lead of the hockey game. And here you see it. Lernout had his back facing towards Carlson. He recognizes the play and able to dance to the middle of the ice. He's all smiles. Everybody giving him a hard time, but all in good fun. And then that pretty much did it for the IceHogs. They would get a pair of empty net tallies. There's Matthew Highmore right at the tail end of the hockey game. You see a little bit earlier in that, Jacob Nielsen had a chance to touch the puck. He let it roll right by him, knowing that Chicago would ultimately play the body and ignore the puck. And then Matthew Highmore would take it the rest of the way down. But the IceHogs still need to come up with some big saves. Matt Tompkins, again, right at the tail end. The Wolves had a chance to make it a 1-goal game, but Tompkins, 18 saves. He didn't make a lot of saves, but the saves he did make would come up huge. IceHogs would take another penalty, unfortunately, but would score in an empty net. So a shorthanded goal for the Rockford IceHogs, who now improved to 4-0 against the Chicago Wolves, all part of 5 wins over their last 6 games. And a 4-game winning streak to begin this season. That's the first time ever, and overall in their Illinois Lottery Cup Series, it is the tying mark for the IceHogs in terms of how long they have tied a winning streak against the Chicago Wolves. So all things good news for the IceHogs now moving into today. It seems like players are starting to get healthy. You get a couple of practice days mixed in as well, and the IceHogs are cruising along. Now today is going to be game number 2 of a quick 2-game jaunt away from BMO Harris Bank Center, but as I mentioned, IceHogs will be coming back to the BMO the very next day, tomorrow, to square off against the same Grand Rapids bunch and celebrate Military Appreciation Night. But to dive deeper into tonight's game preview, let's go ahead and hear from the coaching staff, your favorite players. We'll come back, break down the action, and get you out to a puck drop. So stick around for more IceHogs Warm-Up.